me.
You interviewed people.
What?
You interviewed
I
people.
interviewed people for immigration. They applied with a
To
job.
immigrate, yeah.
So they needed the whole story about their life, where they were born and where they spent the war years. Some of them, most of them, went to Russia and they came back.
What do you mean they came back?
Well, like we did. We were sent.
Before.
Yeah, before.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I want to go backwards a little bit. I think I didn't ask you when the Russians offered you to be a Russian citizen, all right? And you didn't accept it. Why didn't you accept it to be a Russian citizen?
I don't know if they asked us to.
Yes.
to
They did.
join.
You told me they did, and I also read in the book
Yeah.
that the Russian wanted to. They asked the Jewish people who were in the camps to be a Russian citizen, and you told me that you didn't.
No, because we wanted to leave Russia. We didn't want to stay in Russia
Why?
because we were not. We wanted more business. We had a business before
Yeah, in Romanov.
in Romanov.
So okay.
And the majority of the survivors
Yes.
that wound up in Siberia, they had businesses in Europe and Poland.
And they wanted to go back.
Yeah. They didn't want to stay in Russia because Russia didn't offer what business was prohibited in Russia. Business was not legal.
Well, wait. People wanted to go back to Romanov,
Yeah.
but you already knew that in Romanov there were no Jewish people that, I don't know, the Poland took your houses and businesses. Didn't you know that by then? That you don't have where to go back to?
We still knew that going back, we're going to be free to contact the Americans because we had family in the United States.
Yes, I know.
My father's brother and my mother's brother.
I remember. But what I'm asking is, you were in the camp, right? And now you had the chance to become a citizen in Russia.
The camp was liquidated.
Yeah, I know.
And then we went to the cities, and we had jobs like the Russians.
Okay, so why didn't you stay in Russia, make your life there in Russia as citizen?
Because Russia was not free to the Polish, to the Jews, like.
What do you mean?
Like before the war.
What do you mean?
A lot of it was restricted.
Like what? Religion?
Jewish religion.
Okay.
Business was prohibited. It was black market business.
Okay.
Everything was.
But if you were going to become a Russian citizen, wouldn't you be equal as any other Russian citizen, no matter if you're a Jew or other?
No, because if you were a communist and a party member, you had good jobs in the government. Otherwise, you were just a laborer. Like I had very hard jobs. Like I had a job. I lived in Kazakhstan to work a lot of ways.
Okay.
And there I was working in a factory, and I had to supply the coal to the furnaces.
Okay.
See, it wasn't automatic like here, everything.
Of course.
Yeah. That was hard work. Yeah.
So you thought maybe if you're going back to Rimanov,
Yeah.
you will have your own business as
Yeah.
before?
Yeah, we can.
But I don't understand something, because you told me that you already knew that in Rimanov all the Jews were,
The majority
the
of the
majority
state during the war, they were killed by
killed.
by
Right.
by the Poles and Germans.
And did you know that the Polish took your houses and businesses?
Yeah.
So
We did.
you wanted to go back
Yeah.
to see what?
Because we had a chance. We worked for a company that was not Polish. It was a foreign company.
Uh-huh.
A gasoline. We had
Yeah,
two
I know.
gasoline stations,
Okay.
and we could get it back.
You thought you can get it back?
I don't know. Who knows?
But on your way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. On the way back, we heard rumors about anti-Semitism in Poland.
Ah, okay.
A woman came out, Polish woman, Christian, and it was Passover time.
Yeah, and then she spread a rumor that
she
the
said
yeah.
that the Jews were killing non-Jewish children to sacrifice. That's the religion, the Jewish religion.
Yeah, I understand.
And they were blaming, so they came out in crowds, and they killed maybe a dozen or more survivors from the concentration.
Yeah.
That returned. So then we wanted to leave and be under the American.
If you would have become a Russian citizen, would they ask you to join the army? In Russian army?
Probably would.
Probably would.
Yeah.
So maybe was one of the reasons you didn't want to be the other one.
No, the other reason was that the Poles were spreading rumors about the Polish Jews, and the Polish Jews were not safe in Poland. So we got a peace in Poland right after the war from Germany. We didn't live in Poland. We lived in parts of Germany, close to the Czechoslovakian border.
When?
After the war.
After the war, yes. Yeah. Okay.
Because there was part of Germany that was inherited by Poland.
You're talking about not Silesia.
The what?
You're talking about Silesia?
Yeah, Silesia.
Okay.
And there, everything was normalizing. You could have Jewish schools. Like in our case, our mother passed away.
Yeah.
We could have services. We joined a Jewish organization. We could go to services in the morning, in the evening.
That was in Silesia?
In Silesia.
In Silesia.
Yeah. Because that was a lot of American run. We were able to, people came from the United States to that area, and they would contact us.
And help you.
And to help us with some money, and also to arrange to leave to go to the United States.
Okay. Now I want to ask you. You said that you wanted most of the Jewish that were released from the camps wanted to go back to Rimanov to see what about their houses and business.
We knew that was not much left.
Okay.
We didn't return.
So you knew that.
We didn't return to Rimanov.
At the beginning.
We went to Lublin. Lublin.
Yeah.
Was a big city.
Yes.
With yeshivas, you could study to be a rabbi. And they were the majority of Jews lived in that part of the country. But
they stayed in that part?
Yeah.
In Lublin?
Yeah.
Where your mother was buried?
Yeah. And there was also a concentration camp nearby, about walking distance. but the place that where we stayed was a Jewish community, and they tried to be helpful to the immigrants
that came from the camps.
Yeah.
The Jewish community that lived there.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember when was it when you decided to immigrate to United States?
Well, right away we were contacted. See, there were representatives from the United States that came to that part of Poland. And like, we were notified if we need any money, we should go to the office. It was run by a Jewish office, with people from...
In Silesia?
Yeah, in Silesia.
Okay. You want to drink some water?
No, thank you.
Maybe.
So my father went, he walked there. It was close by because we joined a place that was religious. So we could say Kaddish in the morning, in the evening.
What, for your mother?
For the mother, yeah. And you could practice it.
Freely?
Freely, yeah. Because they ordered the German people to leave, and the Jewish immigrants settled in Silesia, what they call it.
Yeah.
Silesia.
Yeah. Okay.
Silesia.
Yes. Okay.
So some of them even opened up businesses there.
Oh.
Yeah.
And stayed there?
Yeah. Like clothing and other things.
Oh.
They were able to...
Why didn't you decide to stay there?
Because we wanted to be under the American leadership.
Why?
Well, because we had relatives in the United States.
So the main reason that you decided to go to the States was your uncle?
It wasn't just an uncle.
You had two uncles there,
Yeah,
no?
one uncle was my mother's brother.
Yeah. Yes.
He left Poland and he applied for a job.
He left before the war?
Before the war.
Before the war. From Romanov also?
Yeah, from Romanov.
All right.
From Romanov, he went to another city in Poland where they're trying to get some help in Poland to go to the United States. And he applied and he got a job and he wound up in New York City. Yeah.
And you also had your father's brother, right?
The father's brother left in 1915, earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was illiterate when he left. And he started working as a mechanic.
In New York also?
In New York. And he succeeded and became an automobile dealer. See? He was a Pontiac. He had a Pontiac agency.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And he was illiterate.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
He had a brother-in-law who could read and write.
So he did it for him?
He did it for him.
That's nice.
But he himself was a smart businessman. And he incorporated some of the family in his business. And he kept telling us that he is doing very well financially. If we come, it's going to be to our benefit.
So this was the reason that you decided to go to the States. Your relative that were
a lot
in
of
New York,
people, if they were able to go to the States, they wanted to go to the States. They still considered America a freedom.
Why? What did you know about America that you wanted to go there?
Like the uncle that left, he was illiterate.
And he succeeded.
Yeah. Both of them were almost illiterate, you know. And
You
the one
didn't.
that left a job in Europe came to the New York, and he deserted the job. He had a truck. He left the truck, and he went to apply for. He became a fisherman.
A fisherman.
Yeah, fish was a big market in New York City. He used to go there at 4 o'clock in the morning and buy fish and open up a fish store.
Who was? This is your
My
uncle.
mother's brother.
Your mother. Ah, okay. So one was a Pontiac dealer, and the other one was a fisherman.
Yeah.
Okay. And they both asked you to come to New York?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the one that was, he offered, also the one in Kenosha, there was another brother.
That asked you to come to Kenosha?
He had an empty building.
Yeah, you told me. But
Retired.
first of all, I want again to ask you. It's very interesting to me what the Jews at that time thought on their way to. I don't know. You left again. I take you backwards, okay?
Yeah.
You left the camp. You started your journey through Poland. Some of the people you said wanted to go back to Rimanov to know what about their business.
Well, the news was not good about the Polish people behaving, and, like about trying to kill Jews.
You heard about it?
Yeah, it wasn't safe.
Okay.
So when when our mother died, we didn't stay in Poland. We went to the not too far. It was part of Poland that was occupied by Germans.
Okay.
And they went back to Germany.
They left Poland.
They left Poland. And that was okay to go back there. And a lot of people opened up businesses, clothing businesses.
On the way.
No, in
Lublin.
No.
No, where?
This was already it used to be part of Germany. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went out from the camp. Some of the people just stayed in certain places on the way, and some people wanted to go to the States.
Yeah.
And
not just the States. A lot of them went to different countries.
Countries.
All over the world. There was the Hayas and the Joint.
Yes.
Was very active.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to find jobs and security in many places of the world.
So the Jews actually spread out all over Europe and the States. Okay. Were there some Jewish people they wanted to go back? They were insisted of going back to Rimanov. You know about people that went back to Rimanov?
The Jewish community was completely destroyed.
No Jewish.
No Jewish.
So nobody went back to Rimanov.
There were 4 synagogues, a rabbi's big house. Everything nothing was the same.
Okay, so no Rimanov. So actually, your uncle's offer was actually very good for you.
Well, the offer was to come to New York, and from the uncle, his brother, was also an immigrant in Kenosha.
Yeah, there were 2 brothers in New York and one in Wisconsin, in Kenosha.
The one in Wisconsin came years ago, and he had an empty building. He retired from business. He was not a very successful businessman.
Why did he go to Kenosha? Why Kenosha?
There were several other people from Kenosha there.
Jewish people?
Yeah.
Okay.
They organized a synagogue there in Kenosha, Yiddish, like in Poland. They came from different parts of the country. And then some of them came from the Rimanov area. He knew some of the people, opened up a clothing store, two of them, two brothers, two clothing stores, you know.
So he decided to leave New York. He was in New York at the beginning, right? Before leaving to Kenosha.
He was on the east side of New York. He was never established in a good business.
So he was looking for his luck in a different place. From,
Well, he had family there in Kenosha before, on the mother's side, I think.
Okay.
So when we came to Kenosha, he said, if you come, you can use the building, it's empty, and you can use it for some business. So we started to look for furniture business, and we didn't like what he came up with. So I decided, he took me to Chicago first.
How old were you at that time? You remember? Around 20 something, right?
Yeah.
You had to be actually around maybe 25, 24.
I was born.
You were born in 24, right? 24.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So if it was like 52, I think you left for me. I wrote it down. Let me see. I wrote it down for myself. Okay. You reached Kenosha at July 52.
Okay.
Okay, July 52.
Okay.
So, actually you were 28.
Okay.
You were 28. If you were born at 24, so you were 28.
But I also had two brothers,
Yeah, Ezra
and Bernie.
What is the difference between you and Ezra?
Ezra was younger.
I know. For how many years younger than you? You know?
Well, he was a few years younger.
Okay, so he was like around 24, 23.
But he wasn't involved before the war in the business like I was.
And Baruch?
And Baruch was a troublemaker before.
Yeah, I know. But he went with you to Kenosha, right?
Yeah.
You, Baruch, Ezra, your father, and also his second wife, your father's second wife.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me about your father and his new wife? Where and when did they meet? And how was it for you to have another mother? You remember?
We made an effort to get along. We didn't have too many choices.
How did he meet her? You remember?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't often, no.
Okay. Can you tell me something about her?
The what?
Can you tell me something about her?
No, I don't.
You don't remember her at all?
No, not much.
What was her name?
I don't remember.
You don't remember her name? Zelda, maybe? Who was Zelda? You don't remember?
No, Zelda is my stepbrother's mother. They survived in Russia.
Stepmother was your father's wife, right?
Yeah, Zelda.
Zelda was her name?
Yeah. But she survived after the war. She was also in Russia, his mother.
Okay. And she had children? No, I think she had only one baby with her, no?
Yeah, Marty.
As much as I remember. Yeah. I just read they interviewed that they did in Kenosha, so I remember that she had a little baby, 1 year old.
Yeah, he was bar mitzvah in Kenosha when he came to Kenosha.
Okay.
It was a bar mitzvah at the shul, you know.
What's his name?
Marty.
Marty?
Marty Kramer.
Okay.
His name was
He
Kramer.
was Kramer?
Yeah.
Okay, so
his father got killed by the Germans.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she stayed alone? She left alone with her little baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Zelda?
Zelda.
Okay. Can you describe her? How did she look? How was she?
She was still a stepmother to us, you know.
Yeah.
But she tried very hard to be accommodated, you know. And she wanted a place for herself, you know. But see, the son that survived in Russia, he was a youngster.
Yeah.
He,
She was kind to you and your brothers?
what?
She was kind to you and your brothers?
No, we always knew that he was not a brother from.
No, Zelda.
Yeah.
Was she kind to you and your brother?
Yeah, she tried to be.
She tried?
Yeah, but naturally she was looking out for herself and her son. Yeah.
Mm.
It was not a perfect
Situation.
situation.
And what about your father? How was he? Because during the war, he was kind of kept his distance, was like a kind of depressed. So how was he when you came to Kenosha or to New York before?
I was the one that was trying to.
That ran the family.
Yeah.
You ran the family.
Yeah.
And what did he do?
Because I finished 7 years public school.
Yes.
And I could read and write in Polish.
And he was illiterate, your father.
What?
Your father was illiterate. He didn't know how to read and write.
No, right. Illiterate, yeah.
Illiterate. And
so he would always depend on me.
Okay. Okay, so you came to Kenosha. No, you came to New York, right?
Yeah.
Let's stay in New York. Do you remember what year you came to New York and how long did you stay there?
Well,
approximately?
What year?
In New York. When did you leave?
What did I say before?
No, I know you came to Kenosha at 52. How long have you stayed in New York? More or less. How long? A year? Less than a year?
More than a year.
More than a year in New York. What did you do in New York?
In New York, I got a job right away, the first day. My uncle was a fisherman, I told you. My mother's brother.
Yes.
And he knew people from his business. And I was introduced to some of them, the neighbors, and they said there is a job for money he could get in the jewelry store.
Okay.
And I spoke English at the time. So they arranged for me to meet the new bosses. It was a nice neighborhood, Fifth Avenue, a rich neighborhood with jewelry, And there were about 3 or 4 women in the office. They would take the orders, bill it out.
What was your job to do? What you
My
had
job
to do?
was to get the merchandise in the store, put it together. When I had the orders.
Fish?
What?
You work with fishes?
No, nothing to do with fish.
So?
This wasn't a fish store. It was a jewelry store.
Jewelry store. No, but you told me that your uncle
Yeah, had nothing to do with it, with his job. He had
okay.
he used to go early in the morning, 3-4 o'clock.
He wasn't. Okay.
No. But the one that I got the job was in a very fancy neighborhood with a stock market outside and a lot of Yiddish-speaking people.
Many Jews?
Yeah, many Jews.
Okay.
But it was not like Jewish neighborhood like on the east side. The east side was more Jewish style, you know. Like if you went out for dinner, the first dinner that we had was just like in Romanov before the war.
Oh.
Go to a wedding.
Yes.
Everything was pretty much alike.
Where did you live in New York? With whom?
I lived with my uncle, the fisherman.
He let you live in his house?
Yeah.
He had a big house?
No, it was an apartment.
Because you were like, what, 5 people? You, your father.
Yeah.
Your father's wife, right?
No. She was supported by the Hayas. She was given an apartment
on her own.
Not with my father.
They weren't married at that time?
Not in New York.
Where did they get married?
In New York.
In New York or Kenosha?
I think in Kenosha, maybe later.
So she lived with her son, with her boy, in a separate...
A different place.
More
on the east side of New York.
And you?
I lived with my uncle.
What part of New York?
It was a nice area.
Nice area?
Yeah, close to the downtown area. Yeah.
Okay.
And my uncle from the business would come and visit, and he offered to help us with some money. He became a very rich man.
Really?
During the war. Yeah. He knew how to count money. He learned.
How to count money.
What?
He knew how to count money. That's nice. I know to count money, but I need enough to count.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he did. He was a very smart businessman. He took in a brother-in-law, his wife's
brother,
and he became the manager of the store.
The jewelry store? What was it?
The automobile agency.
The Pontiac, yes.
Pontiac agency.
Yeah. So we became rich.
Yeah, money. He made a lot of money. Yeah.
And he helped you with money?
He helped with some of it. Yeah.
That's nice.
He also sent some money to Europe, but
when you were in Europe?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But in the States, he had no problem helping with some money. But he was still illiterate. But he would get in the car, and he could find every place in New York City. Where to go, what to do.
Yeah. He didn't have to know how to read and write, but he had to be a businessman.
Yeah.
Okay, so you came to New York and you lived with your uncle, 4 of you.
The fisherman.
The fisherman.
Yeah.
4 of you. You, your father, Baruch, and Ezra. Right? Four of you. Okay. Did Baruch go to work? Find a job?
Yeah, he was a driver for
in New York.
The one that I was working for.
Oh, okay.
He had the driver's license.
Yeah.
From Austria.
Yes.
So he would take the bus to visit the customers outside New York. So he got a job at the same place. I was inside and he was
Outside,
he had the driver's license.
So both of you were working. What about your father? What did he do?
I don't think he did. He didn't do much.
He stayed at home most of the time?
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't remember. And what about Ezra? What did he do?
Ezra got a job too.
What job? You remember?
No.
So actually,
Ezra came here before we did.
you stayed in Wisconsin and he came to Israel? Or?
No. In Austria, they were very strict about if you had not a clean X-ray on your lungs.
Okay, so
the highest helped him get.
He had something in his lungs?
He had something, yeah.
And anyway, the Americans let him
He came ahead of us.
To New York?
Yeah, because the highest.
They helped him.
The highest helped him leave. So when he came to New York, he was able to start making some money.
Okay. So even though he had this illness in his lungs, they let him go inside New York because, when you came to the Staten Island, Ellis Island, Ellis Island, right?
Yeah.
You remember the way you had to had the checkup?
I don't know.
You don't remember? It was easy to get inside the state?
Yeah.
It was easy?
Whatever it was.
You didn't have any problems to get inside the States?
No. We managed to go.
You managed.
And there were a lot of Jewish neighborhoods that were familiar. Kosher meat, kosher dinners, pretty much like in Poland before the war.
So it was like a little Poland, right?
Well, the east side of New York.
Many Jewish people.
Was a lot of pretty much like Poland before the war. Because a lot of them came, they didn't speak the language. They were not educated in English, so they just gathered around.
So people went to search for their life, yes.
Yeah. They had to survive.
So many people, Jewish people, opened businesses.
Yeah, businesses. But they were serving food that the Jewish people liked, and it was okay.
It was a big community, Jewish community?
Oh, yeah, a lot of them in the east side.
Who came from all over Europe after the war?
Yeah.
Okay. How was the relation between the Jewish people in New York with the locals?
There was no problem.
No problem at all? No.
The Americans in New York were helpful and they were friendly.
Really? Okay. What about other communities like the Irish and the Italians? Did you have any relations with the other communities in New York?
Yeah. If you could speak the language when you could, they were friendly.
Yeah. Did you do any businesses with them? With other,
Everything took time to get adjusted.
Okay. Okay. So you, Ezra and Baruch, you all found jobs. You were all working. Okay? And you lived in your uncle's house all that time, right?
I don't know that because they didn't have such a large apartment to have all three of us.
4 of you.
before.
With your father.
Yeah, I know.
So where did you live?
I don't know. I don't
You don't
remember.
Okay.
We did it didn't last very long because we went to Kenosha and then we lived in Kenosha. We rented a large apartment.
How was your uncle's reaction? Your uncle from New York reaction to your decision to leave and go to Kenosha? I mean,
Well,
did he encourage it, or did he say, "Why you leave?
No,
why you live in New
that
York?"
was his idea.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
because the
he
other
supported
one,
it.
the one in Kenosha, had an empty building,
Oh, okay.
and he thought he could help us start
A business.
a business.
Okay.
So we did start a business.
Who decided to leave New York? You, your father? Who made the decision? Who made the decision?
Well, we all kind of got together, but when we got to Kenosha, we didn't like his health. It wasn't. He was not a very smart businessman. Yeah.
He also wasn't so successful.
Not right.
What did he do?
Well, he would take us to big sales of furniture that was on sale. You know, it was not perfect; it had to be fixed. He said he's got somebody in Kenosha. He can do this. He can do that. I didn't like that the whole thing.
What you felt in your heart that this wasn't the right way to make a
I
living.
said we need merchandise that comes from the factory. It's in good shape, and you can sell it, and you can make a profit. That's what we eventually did, you know.
But how did you feel about going to a very new business you didn't know nothing about? I mean, you never sold furniture.
I know, but it made sense. What's good, you don't have to be a furniture man.
When you went to Janesville,
What?
You went to Janesville. They took you to see.
What?
They took you to see someone in Janesville. Who was that?
Yeah. There was a brother-in-law that my uncle had in Janesville, which is not too far from Kenosha.
Okay.
And he was in the furniture business.
Who took you there?
My
The
uncle
uncle?
in Kenosha.
Okay.
When I looked at that operation, it looked like this is what I would like to have.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He had himself and
So you felt this is the right thing for you
a couple
to
of
do?
sons, you know. And I said to him, how can we have a place like this? You know. So he says, I'll give you names, where to buy, and this and that. I can be helpful. But he was helpful, you know.
He did help you?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, to get the right merchandise. And
What about a place?
in Kenosha?
Yeah.
No.
No. How did you find a place in Kenosha? You said that the warehouse that your uncle gave you wasn't right for the business, right?
No, it wasn't right. They didn't have the right merchandise.
Okay.
Anyway, we lost it a long time. And
Tell me about your establishing the business. How did you establish the business, the furniture business? How did you do it? Who helped you? Did Baruch and Ezra, did they were with you? How did you get along with, establish a business, a furniture business?
You can take a drink.
Well,
You can take a drink.
that's a big story.
what?
Yeah, it is.
What?
Well, you started out by cleaning out your uncle's building, right? It was full of junk. It was really full of second-hand, third-hand merchandise. It was full of junk, right? And the first thing you did was clean it out.
we made some big changes,
Tell me about the changes. What did you do at the beginning, in the very, very beginning? I want to know how to establish a business. Tell me, how did you do it?
Don't go to like this.
Maybe yes.
Can you tell me?
It's common sense, see. I talk to people, I talk to salesmen and business people. The people in Kenosha didn't want to see us succeed.
To be compete with them.
To be competition.
Competition.
Yeah. Like there was a Bodie Brothers and this and what? Bobush.
Jewish people?
No.
Not. Locals, okay.
There was a Jewish one close by. He used to go to Chicago, pick up like kitchen sets, a table, put it together, take it back to Kenosha, and some chairs. But I didn't like that after a while either. So I learned how to buy direct, and it was.
Okay, what about a place? How did you pick up a place? How did you choose a place to?
We kept it. We kept what we had. We didn't move to the place else.
No, but you told me that your uncle offered you a big room for the business, and you didn't like it. It wasn't right for the business. Your uncle, when you came to Kenosha, okay? Did he offer you something for
he didn't.
Starting a business?
He didn't have good ideas to come up
with. You did start the business there.
What?
You cleaned it out and you started the business in his warehouse.
I started the business, and I had salesmen come in, started calling on me, and became a going business.
And then
we did well. We made we made good money.
And then how did you decide to move downtown?
Yeah, and from there was a store, an apartment building downtown.
Okay.
Downstairs was a large area. There was a furniture store. When we came, and the owner contacted me, and he said his lease is expiring, and I don't want him to stay.
How did he know to contact you? You were famous? What?
Yeah, I became famous. ISIS. Yeah, ISIS.
So the owner,
not
the owner of the furniture store, the owner of the building. He didn't want.
So he said he's not going to rent it to the other person.
He wanted you. He wanted you.
He wanted me as a. So we went to a couple of good lawyers, and we signed it.
Okay. So if I understood, first of all, your business started in Kenosha, in Kenosha.
In the city, yeah.
Yeah.
But this wasn't too far. It was close downtown. But the downtown was where the business was.
Okay. So you thought maybe if you're going downtown, it will improve the business because it's a business area.
And it also was a furniture store there before, but not the same quality, not price range. I have to pick my own price range to see what's good for the store. But it worked out okay. And then there was a building.
Okay.
A building next block.
Okay.
It was a furniture business.
Another one.
And the people said they want to retire. They used to go in the winter time to Florida. So they said they want to
sell it.
Sell it.
Okay.
So they came to me and asked me if I want to buy it. And some of the salesmen said, I think if you buy it and you make some changes, you'll do okay. And my father didn't.
What?
He didn't believe that we can
Expand.
improve on what they did.
Did your father also work in the store?
Well,
What did he do?
He would do clean up and
Okay.
nothing. He didn't talk to customers. He didn't speak the language. No.
So he did whatever he could.
Yeah,
I mean,
so he was not the one to depend on. So I would listen to my father. and
do whatever you think was right. What about Baruch? What did he do? He was part of the business?
There was a stock market place.
No, Baruch. Baruch was in Israel.
Oh.
I know, not right away. There was Eddie and Bernie.
Right.
Okay.
Baruch is Bernie. Yeah. You're talking about Eddie in the stock market.
Yeah. Okay. Baruch did.
He left for Israel?
Yeah.
So
she was Romanian.
She, you mean, is what, wife?
Yeah.
So he got married where?
She was a good-looking woman, you know.
So he met her in
the camp.
In the camp.
Yeah.
And he got married.
Got married.
Okay. Didn't you meet her first?
The what?
You met her first.
What?
You met Esther first.
Yeah, but I wasn't. It wasn't popular, you know.
What?
The family.
What wasn't popular?
I didn't get involved with Esther, but he liked her. She was a good-looking woman.
What wasn't popular? To go out with a Romanian woman?
Kind of. Yeah. Most of them.
It was popular?
Polish.
It wasn't.
No.
Why?
Most of them were Polish Jews.
Why wasn't it popular to go with a Romanian woman? What did you think about the Romanian woman?
Not me. It's what in general what they thought.
What did they think in general about the Romanian woman?
I don't know. It wasn't positive. You know.
Not positive things? That's interesting. Can you tell me more about it? It's interesting.
Really.
Why didn't they like?
Because
the Romanian
there were a
woman?
lot of Polish women that were more to fit in, to look better, you know.
But she was pretty.
She was pretty, and the family was talking about going to Palestine. You know.
Oh. So, okay. So Baruch with his Esther,
Yeah.
okay, they were married when you all came to Kenosha. No?
He didn't go to Kenosha.
At all?
No, he went to Palestine.
Straight from New York?
No, he didn't go to New York. Baruch wasn't in New York. Baruch went to Palestine with Esther and her family. They took the boat. And she was pregnant on the boat.
Because she told me that Baruch was a driver. Okay, in New York.
No, Eddie was a driver.
Okay. So Baruch actually didn't come to New York. He went straight to Palestine.
With Esther and her family and Sasha.
Well, probably.
They left for Palestine before you went to the United States.
Okay. So Eddie, actually, Baruch was in Palestine, and Eddie was with you and your father.
Eddie went to Milwaukee. Eddie didn't help start the business. Eddie went to Milwaukee, and he was a cab driver in Milwaukee.
Yeah, cab. He was driving a taxi.
And he came into the business later on.
I think he started a business on his own. A similar business.
Where? In Milwaukee?
In Kenosha, too. not too far from downtown. And he wasn't successful, but he tried. So he wanted to come and become a partner in the business.
Actually, the family kind of spread out. I mean,
Yeah.
Baruch went to Palestine, Eddie
Sure,
to
because
Milwaukee.
you got wives, families.
Mhm. And your father stayed with you.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
he
then,
did.
then later on, Bernie came
Who?
to the United States.
With his family?
Yeah.
Who did?
Bernie, Baruch.
Yeah.
You brought Bernie to the United States. First, you sent him a pickup truck so that he could start a business.
Yeah.
Right? You went to New York and you bought a pickup truck from Uncle Abe, and you sent it to Israel so that Bernie could make money.
What did he send to Israel?
And tender.
שלח מניו יורק לישראל?
The what?
To start a business here?
To help Bernie start a business, or to help
He
Bernie
said,
do deliveries.
To make some extra money with a pickup truck in Israel.
במקום לעשות business.
כן, לא עשה הרבה business. כן.
What?
Bernie, he didn't do a lot of business. He used it mostly to go on.
See, Bernie was not
vacations.
popular in Israel.
Wasn't, why?
Because he belonged to the Begin party.
Okay.
And they were doing things against the government. You know.
What? And the government was looking for him?
The government did not approve
His actions?
of the policies. Menachem Begin, see?
Mm-hmm.
And what they did, he joined the underground. What do you call the...
Etzel.
What?
Etzel?
Yeah. And they bought up a lot of arms in Czechoslovakia and other places. And they brought in a ship of arms to Tel Aviv. And the government, the Labour Party government, didn't like to see them bringing in all the arms. So they destroyed it at the airport.
Yeah.
The what?
Not the airport.
The harbor.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So now
Now
I'm summarizing it.
Now he
it was
is
hard
not.
for Bernie to get a good job.
Yeah. All the way.
He was,
Yeah.
because he was in the wrong party.
Yeah.
He had the wrong connections.
He joined the wrong party. Yeah.
So
But
how did he support his family?
There was some Kramer family, the one that married my father.
Zelda?
What?
Zelda קראו לה ל... Okay.
And they were trying to help in Israel. You know.
But he was a policeman.
Me?
He worked in the police force, Bernie.
Bernie? Oh. Okay.
So the salary wasn't enough to live on.
And at that time, how many kids did he have?
They had twins,
Oh, they had twins.
but one was born with cerebral palsy.
The
With
what?
In CP.
CP? Ah, okay.
Bernie had twins.
Twins.
One was
Yeah.
handicapped. One was born handicapped. They were born in 1948. They came on the boat, and Esther was pregnant on the boat.
Who came on a boat?
Esther and Bernie.
Came
And
where?
Esther discovered she was pregnant on the boat.
Oh,
And she
Oh,
didn't
from
know
the
how
camp?
she got pregnant. No one ever told her how
from the
Bernie
camp?
got pregnant.
From the camp in Austria?
Yeah.
Es ist eine Welt mit kleinen Welterlech.
Yeah.
They say there is a song. There is a Welt mit kleinen Welterlech. Stark, verkrotchet und verdreht. It's
I know what you said.
It's not.
Hydrate means crazy, right?
What?
Hydrate means crazy.
No, it's not. Everything is kind of intertwined,
Okay.
you know.
את מדברת יידיש?
No, just a few.
Like me. Okay, we will stop here. Okay.
Isn't
And
she beautiful?
Yes, yeah, he is not gonna.
I can't get
No.
over it.
He won't get over it, right?
What?
זה בסדר מבחינתי.
Well, so is she. She's beautiful too.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
of course.
And then my other daughter is also beautiful.
Natalie.
Yeah. Did you meet Natalie?
No. I just read about her.
But
But Natalie sees the videos. I sent
Uh-huh.
a few of the videos.
they're both educated, college educated. And
We're gonna stop now.
what?
We're gonna stop now here.
Yeah.
Next time I'll be here.
Okay.
Okay? Thursday. Okay, great.
I was just thinking about your job. That I had that job in Austria where I was.
To interview people.
What?
To interview people.
Yeah, to make out
Okay.
applications.
Immigration.
Yeah. So
The
they
stories.
probably still have those.
The what?
They probably still have those stories on file.
It's okay. But that
At the
was
highest.
להם. כאילו להם.
And
Okay.
you finished.